Welcome back to Factorio Hyperbase. We have our plastic up and running. We have plastic coming in. Well, at least some plastic coming in. There's this much that's come in so far. Over at the oil that we have set up, these are not all running efficiently, and that is because the heavy is basically jammed out. I mean, these are not enough for the original basic oil refining recipe, which we knew, and also these will fairly soon completely fill up and choke everything, so we have to move on and quickly. So we're going to do some work in the base this time to get to red circuit, and blue science, so that we can fix up the oil once and for all. But one thing I've noticed is this here is not actually going to work. We were going to be feeding our old assembly machine 1s into our assembly machine 1s factory. That's not really going to be very effective. We need to be feeding them into our level 2 factory. So if we instead place that steel box here and do that, they'll be a lot more effective. Now, I don't think I actually have any spares because I've been throwing them in here anyway. What else is useful? We could probably do with a few more belts. Could probably do with releasing a little bit more room on those belts. And we will go over to, well, we might go to green circuit first, just to enhance that a little bit, basically by throwing down the blue assembly machine level 2s, and I will replace the inserters with the fast inserters. It's not because we're obviously not pushing what is coming out just yet, but we will fairly soon, I guess. What I might actually do is enable all 6 lanes to whoops, that's not supposed to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or is it? Maybe it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it should be that. It's the 6th. So yeah, we've got 8 here instead of 6. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it's more what I had in mind. So 6 lanes. It's a lot. It's more than I have run with in the past. Oh, I've put that one hard over there. That's probably a mistake. At the moment, it would be fair to say that that's a fake 4-lane, which we aren't particularly in support of, but it will definitely make this red circuit build easier if we we'll make this red circuit build easier if we start off with this configuration that I'm not used to, that I am going to try and use here. So an extra lane out here, and an extra lane out here. And the basic idea is that the red circuits will consume this extra lane completely, plus they will also feed from the remaining 4 lanes as well. So that's still green circuit. It's not until we get to here that we're actually looking at the red circuit build. And of course, since the yellow undergrounds can only go down or under 4, it is a little bit of an issue. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, I guess what we're going to do is I want basically 2 lanes of plastic per side and 2 lanes of green circuits, which would be well, they only have to skip over 2. So that will be the entire length of the journey that this column takes. And the other 4 will come from our standard, yeah, that guy there. So we will need to, whoops, not do that. Do something like that. So that's how we'll get 2 lanes of greens out here. Now what I actually want to do is create a combined half and half, green and plastic, and have it come through here and then top it up at regular points along the way when it is exhausted. We also are not going to want level 1 machines in there. And do I have any stone bricks? Doesn't look like it. I'll grab some actually, because it does make for a useful delimitation. Delimiter, anyway, is what I'm trying to say. Is that set to 4? It is, so we can come back this way with a bit of a path to help us know where the divider is between red circuits and green circuits. So yeah, these machines are kind of struggling now over 6 lanes as expected. How am I going to get a lane down to here? Basically, I probably need to do something like this. So you can come out like that. You can do that. And there is a line of circuits and plastic. Now, for temporary only, temporary measure only. Not actually sure if I need that. I probably don't actually. But we will draw a single line for now from copper. In the future, how's this going to work actually? That's all supposed to be copper, isn't it? Maybe I'm supposed to have a dedicated line plus another bit of a line. Not quite sure why I have 3 of them, but anyway, for now I am simply going to take out that amount and use our trusty guy. Ooh, I know we still have those, so that's all good. Our trusty guy to do that and to provide us with some copper. Oh, maybe it's these two are supposed to be the copper, and this is the cable line. Let me just check what the formula is again, see if I can work out what I had in mind. 4 copper cable, and each copper cable is actually 2, right? Yeah, so 2 lines of copper cable, which I think are supposed to be those 2, so I think I'm right. This is a copper cable line. It's not supposed to be the copper itself. Okay. In that case, let us get rid of all of that. We're going to fill up on copper cable real fast at this rate. So the intention is to come in 1 step higher. We actually are going to need to... We're actually going to need to draw 2 lanes off this for it to work the way it's intended. You can be a copper cable machine and you can have as much copper as I can put in you. Now, this is going to be in the way, so let's put it up there for now. That's not how this is supposed to work at all. It's supposed to come out here. You can go back there. What is your demand? 1 copper plate for 2 copper cable. Okay, so basically we want 1 of these, and we want to output 2. I don't think this is actually going to work the way I want it to. No, it's not. Right, how many are we actually outputting? 2 copper cable, half a second, that is 4 a second. One of these belts can do 13 a second, it can do 6 each side, it's fine. Should be able to handle that. And then we need our 6 red circuit machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same duplicated on this side. Red circuit. Okay. This line will just come through here. Likewise this line. And the red circuit machines will feed onto this line. And at about here we will have a splitter. So, long inserters into the middle. Not sure if we need fast inserters, but we'll use them anyway. And that is basically it for a single instance of this. Hang on, we need that to run the length, and for and there we go, we should be now producing red circuits. But we have already exhausted this whole thing, so let me put in another splitter and we will create a output priority to the right, which will force all of this out this way, and that way we'll be able to get a little bit more red circuit coming out. The red circuits will come down this lane, because at this point that lane will be empty. This is because they're only coming from one side at this point. At this point we no longer have these belts to worry about, which is excellent. Now over here we kind of need to duplicate this, so that one can vanish. We want this one to be copper. We just bring this extra green down. So plastic was the outside. Those were copper. This is green. So that's that dedicated green, and then it's... Well, let's see if we can make this other green and see if there's room to get the so-called dedicated green over there. There kind of should be, but we might have to do a kind of a shimmy. Like so, which is kind of messy, but never mind. That will work. And now these lines of plastic, also kind of messy, but this will also work. So this one needs to be copper. Where's the other one? Oh, we need another one to go in here. That's going to be slightly more trying. We'll worry about that when we get to it. At the moment, we're only putting in one copper. So the fact of the matter is, by this point, the copper will be quite thin. They'll only really be effectively it depends what the demand on red is, I suppose, but this will be quite thin if we're doing full demand, which is a problem. Oh. 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 Okay. We'll have to come through about here so that we can do something like that. And that will only work because we'll be able to move that to there and then do it. Although, I mean, we do actually have red, don't we? Red underground. What do we need? Lots of iron. So we don't actually have to do that after all. We'll just do this. Oh, don't tell me you can't insert fast thingamy-bob because of something or other. No, that's 58. That does not work. There we go. So, this one will have to be a red for that to work. And at this point here. This point, so we're going to have to move that again as well. We need a splitter. And blue inserters. Oops. Power. Oh, we haven't done this part yet. Where we combine so we gave ourselves a little bit more room. Here we had these come out here. The dedicated one is actually on the inside here, so I guess we want to use the inside. And that would mean we could probably actually go that kind of distance. Use that. Change how this one works as well. Here we go. So this should now, once we put a priority splitter here, make us some red circuits from this other side. Very slowly. So the normal speed is 6 seconds, but there's only 0.75 speed, so it's more like 8 seconds that it's taking per one of those. But that's a good start. So let's pretend that we have 4 lanes of green for a little bit, and pretend we have 2 lanes of red, because there will be truth to this in the very near future. So we want to make blue science here. What do we need for blue science? We need 1 advanced circuit. We now have it. We need 1 engine unit, and we need 1 electric mining drill per second. So the key there really is, what do you need for an electric mining drill and an engine per second? We need 10 machines making engines to get an engine per second. That's what that means, 10. So give it a little bit of space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. the ingredients will go on this side, the output can go on this side, but hang on a second, we actually need 20 because we need to make this twice. We need 2 a second, that's what we've been going for up here, so it's actually quite a bit worse than that. We're going to need 20. Alright, in that case. Oh, this is engines, isn't it? I don't tend to make engines over here. I tend to make them on the other side and ferry them back to here. So that is what I'm going to do this time as well. We'll be making engines down here, which means it's going to take slightly longer to get our red science, I suppose. Yeah. But if we're going to use 20 of them, so we get 2 a second, that's 20, that would be 40. So that we have enough for the electric engines as well. And then it's a matter of how much do we need for bots, maybe another 10. So I actually want to do about 50 of the engine units to allow, it's kind of for the future, that they'll give us enough to build out purple science as well, and also bots. So I might just grab a little bit of brick to delimit the next section, which is basically done like so. And this is where we will start doing engines. So engines need they need iron gear wheel and they need pipe. So they need a lot of things actually. Yeah, this is where we start really hitting our iron supply. So what's the pipe recipe again? 1 iron plate is 1 pipe, and the iron gear wheel is 2 iron is 1 iron gear wheel. So it's actually the same amount of iron is needed for each one of those, and if we're going to have 50 machines, it's basically 5 times that recipe, so 10 pipes a second and 5 iron gear wheels a second. Which is iron gear wheels a half second. So we need 3, 5. Yeah, we need 3 of those, which will give us 6 a second. 3 iron gear wheel machines, and that's most of a belt to itself. And the pipe, we'll need 5 pipe machines, and I guess that's most of a belt to itself as well. And that's going to take more. That's basically each one pretty much needs their own. Well, the pipe certainly needs basically a dedicated belt. The iron gear wheel is about half a belt. And we can probably share iron gear wheels and steel on the same belt, I think. So, we're going to want 2 iron in. Yeah, let's go up to about there. So those will be iron gear wheel. at the end, I guess we will put in a priority splitter. Yep, that's where we want it. And then we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pipe. Although I possibly, well, I can sort that out. I'm going to want to put a break in the middle, so there's room for the pipe to fit. So if these are outputting onto the far side of this belt, which they will be if they're doing that, then we want steel to come in on this side of that belt. That sort of thing. So where is steel? Where's any of this stuff actually? No, that's not it. I thought I made a... That was an iron one, I think. Never mind. It shouldn't be all that difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? Looks about right. There's the steel. Now, 2 lots of iron. That's actually slightly more tricky, because this thing only really provides 1 iron. Is there an easy way to turn this into a 2 iron? So, I mean, we could just do a double dose of it. I'm sure there is actually a better way of doing it than this, but I guess this will work. Oops. Are we out of... We are. Just as well, we're in the right area. Grab some more of the these guys as well while we're here. Maybe a few more belts. Oh. What's needing copper? I have a gift for you. Right. There's that one. And there's that one. Okay. And these are pipes. Let me just check the recipe. 1 plate per pipe. We need 2 a second. A single inserter should be able to do that. If we do something like this, we'll get pipe everywhere we need it, and this one can come out like so. And there's 2 of our ingredients for the engines. What is the third? No, there's 3 of our ingredients right here. So, bots, clear up some rocks, thanks. And engines. If we're truly going to do 50 of them, can probably start them about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't think I want this space. I'd rather just use some more power poles. It will take too long otherwise. You better go down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's about 18. Nineteen, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And they just fit. And that seems a little absurd, I know, but there is method to my madness. We don't need them all immediately, but we do need them. Now, because they're only 10 a second, this should actually be enough to feed them. What I'm going to do, though, is we are only going to go up about the first 20 to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Engines. We'll fill out the rest when we need them, but we don't need them just yet. So these are going to be 2 long inserters and a couple of these, well, one. Something like this. And again, fortunately, we are close to our make everything, so we can grab a whole bunch more. 200 this time, good. there is our belt making its way back. Now at this point, so that would have been iron. We've used up all of this as iron, so it can be used for engines. Now I need the red circuits over this way, engines over here, right? Let's actually give that power. I need some more lamps too. It's very dark around here. Once we have power, I'll add some more here as well. Probably a slight waste of medium poles, but it doesn't really matter. The other ones are probably only really any good for burning at this point. What's your problem? I've got this on the wrong side. Fortunately, that is relatively easily remedied. We are going to need... Am I going to need some more storage tanks? Maybe. It's not really fixing my problem. I'll fix it. We need steel to come through there instead, basically. There we go. Oops. So, are we getting steel through? Yes, we are. Are we getting engines being produced? Yes, we are. That's fantastic. So now, I'm going to split this, in fact, another splitter. Not there for any reasons of being difficult, but there so that we can go back up this way and then bring it over to where we need it in red circuits. But meanwhile, red circuits needs, so we're trying to do 2 a second, which means the inputs need to be provided at 2 a second. It takes 2 seconds for those, so we need 4 of them to get 2 a second. We need 5 iron gear wheels each, so we're going to need 20 iron gear wheels. 20 iron gear wheels, we make 2 a second, so that's 10 iron gear wheel machines. 10 iron gear wheel machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that needs 20 iron plate, which is a belt and a half of iron plate. And it is basically a dedicated belt on the output as well. So we need two more lanes of iron coming through. It's about now that you start thinking, well, we actually do need all that extra iron, because, well, we do actually need all that extra iron about now. Now this one can go 2, 3, 4, 5, and well, we don't need an output priority. It'll all end up in this lane. So these are gear wheels. Gear wheels times 10, half a second, that's 20 of them. So gear wheels, we now need, what is it, the four electric mining drills, which need additional iron plate. Actually, we're going to have to move them over one. Electric mining drills, so they need they need actually a ton of additional iron plate. We need another belt and a half of iron plate, and electronic circuits. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Alright, what I'll do is I will bring electronic circuits up here. Which will mean we will have to make a gap back here. So we're coming from this angle. There's the green circuits. And the 2 extra belts of iron. Well, Yeah. We need to bring on more iron before we can really do this. Unfortunately, I think that's kind of necessary because this iron's getting hammered on all sides. It's not like it's actually, well, this second it's not actually being used that aggressively, but if I have two lots of iron, it's a lot easier to say, well, I'll take one bit of iron from here and one bit of iron from here, rather than trying to get 2 bits of iron from this part and then another 2 bits of iron from here while we're dragging it out this way. This sort of thing doesn't actually work as advertised. It's not a full lane in each direction, so it's kind of compromising the iron that's going in both directions. So yeah, I think we have to pretty much immediately go and mine that. Has this thing had another delivery yet? I'm guessing not. Let me just see if it's still going strong. No. Light has completely clogged it, and actually so has lubricant, surprisingly enough. So yeah, we're not going to get another one unless I just say, look, just come back to plastic. You can't even make it to plastic unload, really? There is holes here that we still need to fill in. Alright, well, we can do that. So yes, I guess next episode we will extend back to the iron. We will open up these other 2 smelters. I might even fill them out sort of between episodes, so that the more interesting actually creating the outpost part can be done in the episode, and we'll get back to trying to get blue science happening. See you then, guys. Thanks for joining me for this one, and bye bye for now.